Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Wednesday, November 4th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. After a short but intense few weeks of campaigning, the Vincentian electorate will decide tomorrow which political party will govern St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the next 5 years. There are 33 candidates who are seeking election in the 15 constituencies, 13 on the mainland and 2 in the Grenadines. The incumbent Unity Labour Party, ULP, under the leadership of Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, is seeking a 5th consecutive term in office, while the New Democratic Party, NDP, led by Dr. Godwin Friday, is seeking to take office again after almost 2 decades in opposition. Each party is fielding a full slate of 15 candidates. The SVG Green Party is fielding 2, and there is 1 independent candidate. A total of 98,119 persons are eligible to vote. East St. George with 8,636 eligible voters and South Leeward with a total of 8,141 eligible voters are the 2 largest constituencies. Polling stations will open tomorrow at 7 a.m. and close at 5 p.m. Special arrangements are in place for some 242 eligible voters in quarantine for 6 to 14 days to vote from 5 p.m. to 5:30. They will be issued with a medical officer's certificate. The political parties are said to have unanimously expressed satisfaction with the ballot paper specimen and the ballot box with locks, and are also pleased that the sanitization process will not have an impact on the indelible ink used by the electors. The Electoral Office said in a release that as part of its final preparation, a meeting was held on Monday with the parties to address concerns raised in relation to the ballot paper, the ballot box, and the COVID-19 protocols for the 2020 general elections. The parties were given a specimen of the ballot paper and allowed to examine the ballot boxes and locks, as well as witness a demonstration of the use of the hand sanitizer and its effect on the finger when the indelible ink is applied. The Electoral Office said it was pleased with the spirit of cooperation showed by the parties and is encouraging all to follow the COVID-19 protocols to minimize the risk for the potential spread of COVID-19 during the conduct of the general elections. The New Democratic Party hosted its final rally last night at Barrowley in the Central Leeward constituency, which they have dubbed as Ground Zero. Party leader Dr. Godwin Friday, in his address to the large gathering, outlined his team's plans to take SVG forward once elected into office. We get more in this report.
The NDP's final campaign rally in Barrowley last night was dubbed the Job Rally, and it attracted a large gathering of supporters who were energized for the last lap before Thursday's general elections, in which the party is seeking to take office after being in opposition for the last 19+ years. Arriving shortly after the start of the rally, party leader Dr. Godwin Friday and his son greeted supporters as they made their way to the platform. In the opening of his address, Dr. Friday told the people of Central Leeward that the constituency has been neglected under the Unity Labour Party government, which has made them poorer.
All of the talk that the ULP have given, they have made Barrowley and surrounding areas poorer. That is not the kind of government that you want to put back there after 20 years. If they ain't learned it by now, they don't know how to run the country. If they ain't learned it by now, they have nothing to learn. The only thing we can do is to replace them. And that is the choice that we have come Thursday.
The NDP's campaign has been hinged on job creation, and Dr. Friday reiterated his plans to achieve this and provide other opportunities for Vincentians.
I will do whatever I can in my power to make the people of this country better off. No big talk. All we do is work on your behalf, with you, together to transform our country. This is about jobs for the future. It's about jobs for young people. It's about jobs for this community, for the fisher folk, for the farmers, for the construction workers, for the small business owners, the shopkeepers, the barbers, the cosmetologists, all those people who do little jobs here, but what makes up our rich communities.
Continuing to stress that this is the most important general elections in a generation, the NDP leader appealed to Vincentians to exercise their right to vote and to follow their conscience in doing so.
Know that you want the change, so let's vote for the change that you need. It is a movement that is bigger than the NDP. You have to understand this. It is a movement that is bigger than me. I am just so humbled and honored to be the person whom you have selected to channel all of your hopes and dreams so that we could all focus them at this particular point in our history, not just in our day, not just in our week, not just in our month or this year. This particular point in our history, where we come to this point, where we have a choice to make, the most important choice in a generation that will affect us not just for the next 5 years, but for a generation to come.
Dr. Friday said the movement built by the young people who have been rallying behind the NDP is uplifting and that it is their time to shine.
Let this force become an unstoppable force on Thursday, to roll forward, building momentum, not just yesterday, not just today, but also tomorrow, so that on Thursday it is unstoppable. And we will sweep the ULP and all their lies and broken promises away into the dustbin of history. Let those who write the books later on argue about the legacy of that party.
Apart from the number of local artists who performed at the NDP's rally last night, supporters of the party's South Leeward candidate Nigel Nature Stevenson surprised him on stage, serenading him on his birthday. The South Leeward supporters also presented him with a few tokens and birthday cake. For SVGTV News, Larissa Pogsley-Kidd.
Meanwhile, several of spoke at the NDP's rally last night outlined why the party should be given the opportunity to take office.
Have been in bondage for too long, and this is the time for empowerment of our women. We need to remove the dependency syndrome that is in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We don't want to depend on no one. We want to get up and work and put money in our pocket, and this NDP government is going to empower you to do that.
Unity Labour Party over the last 19 years has made so many promises which they have failed to deliver. If they had only delivered even 25% of those promises, we would not have had the high level of unemployment that we have today. We would not have so many people living in poverty today.
The New Democratic Party says time to take the knee of the necks of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The New Democratic Party says by creating jobs and opportunities, not only you would have a secure future, but your parents and grandparents in the sum of the years will have a more comfortable life.
People of Central Leeward, hard workers of Central Leeward, single mothers of Central Leeward, the youth of Central Leeward, it is our time, people of Central Leeward, to right the wrongs of others. It is our time to take back what was stolen from us.
Meanwhile, thousands turned up to the Unity Labour Party's final rally held at the E.T. Joshua Airport runway at Arnesville last evening. Party leader Dr. Ralph Gonzalez and some candidates fired up the crowd of supporters and made their last pitch for a fifth straight term in office. Dr. Gonzalez said that voting the ULP into office for another term will see progress continue and the transformation of lives. We get more in this report.
Education revolution, information technology, housing development, electricity, water, economic and social transformation are some of the areas identified by ULP leader Dr. Ralph Gonzalez that have improved the lives across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking to thousands at the final rally, Dr. Gonzalez said there is still work to be done which they would continue to do once returned to office for a fifth term.
Unlimited supplies of cheap labor. It requires unlimited supplies of knowledge and skill of all kinds. And in order to do that, you had to effect an education revolution from early childhood right up to university and everything in between, including technical education and education for those who have physical or mental limitations.
The ULP leader stated that developmental projects will continue without the sale of passports under his government and praised all his candidates who he said have a good chance of winning their seats.
Don't worry about Carlos, he winning in North Leeward. Don't worry about Minnie, she winning hers. Don't worry about Luke, he winning his. But is he, Debbie?
Meanwhile, 6 ULP's candidates spoke at the rally last evening in Arnesville, presenting some of their key plans and urging supporters to go to the polls to ensure that the ULP is returned to office for a 5th term.
We did not have the modern medical and diagnostic center, which has transformed healthcare in this country and which allowed us to provide dialysis for kidney patients, and which allowed us to provide an expanded cancer treatment program, and which allowed us to perform many life-saving surgeries for persons
that did not deliver on the marina in Union Island. Comrades, the evidence is clear. The NDP is guilty on all counts of pardon, paralysis, and non-performance.
One of those things are in the manifesto. They come and they all talk on the radio, they all talk on the internet, but they're afraid to put plans in writing because they have no plan.
Especially the elderly, who I have a special place in my heart for, as I was raised with my great-grandmother. And I want to greet them tonight in a special way and let them know that in 2 days,
Incumbent area representative for the South Windward constituency, Frederick Stevenson, anticipates that a community center will be constructed next to the new Diamond Athletics track, where residents will be involved in a number of activities to improve their skills. He was speaking today at the opening ceremony of the track.
To enable the residents of Diamond to have a facility that they can come out for training, do after-school programs. There will be a library, there will be other training areas. All these are part of the continuing development that is happening here in Diamond. And if you may see, if you may observe that Diamond, this community of Diamond, is fast becoming a very important development center in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And hopefully, pretty soon, we would have Diamond to be declared a town.
Stevenson said a new bridge will be constructed so that persons from the area of Diamond, which is in the East St. George constituency, can have easy access to cross to the other area of Diamond in the South Windward constituency.
And we know that the children, most of the children from Diamond, attend the Brighton Methodist School, and sometimes it is a challenge. We have 1 to 3 foot bridges, but we need the construction of a motorable bridge so that the vehicle traffic can move across from here to there. And now that this track is being opened, construction work will continue. When there is an activity on the track, we can have persons driving across from Brighton, or you can, if you're coming from Calico, you can take the road down by Thomas and just drive around and come over here and park, which is making easy access. And it would also serve as an in and out road to link the community. And just in case there's a traffic jam, we know that we can either move left or right and out of Diamond.
Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of China and Taiwan, Joseph Wu, has congratulated St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the assumption of the presidency of the United Nations Security Council for the month of November. In a short message, the Foreign Affairs Minister said that by assuming the presidency, SVG has gained recognition and has an instrumental role to play in the maintenance of peace and security globally. Wu said that St. Vincent and the Grenadines continues to be a voice for Taiwan at various levels.
As a friend of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we in Taiwan join you in celebrating this momentous occasion. We deeply appreciate St. Vincent and the Grenadines' friendship. For many years, you have offered strong support for our bids to be integrated in the international arena, such as the UN system. Since Taiwan and St. Vincent and the Grenadines established diplomatic relations nearly 4 decades ago.
The Foreign Affairs Minister added that his country will continue to work closely with SVG on a range of projects in various areas.
Last year, your country established an embassy in Taipei to help our partnership grow even stronger. Taiwan is very proud to have contributed to building Argyle International Airport and improving the bus network in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we are proud of your country's achievement in safely weathering the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. We look forward to furthering our relations through scholarship programs and joint projects in agriculture, healthcare, and many other areas. I'm confident that our country's unshakable bonds will continue to grow for the benefit of both our peoples.
Yesterday, students who are now at the SVG Community College who were successful at this year's CSEC and CAPE examinations received a $500 incentive award from the government for their performance. The program was instituted by the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2008. A total of 1,047 students were rewarded. To be eligible, students had to gain at least 5 CSEC passes, grades 1 to 3, including mathematics and English, while CAPE students had to gain at least 2 unit subjects from grades 1 to 5, as well as communications studies or Caribbean studies in 2 consecutive years. The students attaining associate degrees must have gained at least a B average. Stressing the effects of rewards and punishment, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves spoke on the importance of having an incentive to motivate students to work towards successfully achieving their goals. The Prime Minister drew reference to Jamaica and their willingness to replicate this model of rewarding successful students instead of their current system of initial payment for all students sitting these exams, which often result in a wastage of resources. The Prime Minister said, "It is better to use that money as an incentive for those who do well." And the Minister of Education, Sinclair Prince, urged the students to continue in the spirit of excellence as they are the ultimate beneficiaries of an education revolution which values the intellectual capital and collective will of the people of SVG as the catalyst to stimulate growth and development. The payout to students this year amounted to $523,500. A total of 630 successful CSEC students, 209 CAPE, and 208 students who successfully completed their associate degrees all received the $500 award.